The mall, a staple in the American pastime since the mid-20th century. Though some still thrive today in all their retail glory, others have fallen to the rise of our technology. So grab a hot pretzel and find a hard bench on which to relax, underneath a beautiful enclosed facade. And join me as we discuss the history of malls. Hello, and welcome back to this new episode of The History of Malls. My name is Sean, and I am your host. I was gone for a little bit, starting a new adventure and moving, but I am slowly getting back into the swing of things. I wanted to let you know I have consolidated completely just to Twitter at History of Malls and got rid of my Facebook and Instagram. It is just easier for me. It's better just to be set up in one shop. I still have my website. You can get to the links from my Twitter on the episode, and you can also still get a hold of me at my email, historyofmalls@gmail.com. For tonight's episode, this is actually a suggestion that I got from an email, so please keep the suggestions coming. When we last left off, we were in Southern California, and I'm going to pick it up right there again at the Westminster Mall. So the mall officially opened in August 7th, 1974 in Westminster, California. Westminster is in Orange County, so it's more south of Los Angeles and just south of Anaheim. I've never been to the Westminster Mall, but I have gone bowling once in Westminster. What an experience. Back in 74, they had a logo for the mall, which was just some triangles put together to make it look like a W. From an ad in the paper, it was just 9 triangles, 4 on each side and 1 in the upper middle to make it look like a W. I don't know why I'm talking about these triangles so much, but they really caught my attention. That ad was in the paper every day leading up to the opening with just the line saying, "The best of everything is coming August 7th." So the mall on opening day was a 2-story, 1.2 million square foot shopping center and cost roughly $23 million to build. It had 176 stores and was anchored by Sears and May Company. Within a year, they also have anchors of Buffums, and I don't know what Buffums is. I've never heard of it. And Robinsons. I haven't heard of that one either, and I'm gathering it's a Southern California thing, but Buffums, I'm going to go down Buffums. Maybe I'm even saying Buffums. I don't really know, but either or, Buffums or Buffums, not a good choice for a name. They estimated from opening that they would generate about 300 jobs, plus with more to build, they felt that number would double in the near future. One thing that I saw in multiple articles is they talked about a big parking lot, which we've talked about in other episodes, but this mall got a little more in depth of how they wanted to talk about their parking spots. In the parking lot, you could either fit 6,200 cars, or 1,650 buses, or 46 747 jets. So just so you know, if you want to fly your jet to the Westminster Mall, I'm guessing don't come later in the day because there might not be enough room. So at 9:30 a.m. on August 7th, they did the traditional ribbon cutting. The mayor spoke, but also the Lord Mayor of Westminster, England was there to speak, also, which just seemed to be a real treat. Other business dudes were there to say words. Of course, Miss Westminster was there to help with the ribbon. The mall officially opened at 10 a.m. and a normal band played, nothing all crazy. One thing in the paper, it was talking about that the mall had an environmentally conserved HVAC unit. I guess it was central heat and air, and it was all in one thermostat. the paper was saying that in the past, malls, each tenant would have control of their own air. So having it through the whole mall, it's way more environmentally friendly. I mean, I don't really know anything about it. It's 1974, and they're trying to save the planet with this mall, and that's fantastic. I'm glad to see this. It also says that, quote, Westminster Mall is designed for full use by the handicapped. It goes on to say that it had special parking in front of every mall entrance, cutaways and curbs, and gentle slopes for wheelchairs and strollers, and interior ramps. The mall also boasted some large sculptures inside from artists such as Jacques de Swart, David Hirschler, Mary Gardner Preminger, and Dwayne Valentine. There was also a 4-screen theater that opened at the mall. I love how they put so much emphasis on talking about the manager of this cinema. They had a large picture of Bill Gartley in the paper. It talked about how his past jobs as a manager were for a drive-in in Sacramento, a theater in Oakland and Chicago, and other things. Then the last paragraph says, quote, Gartley is looking forward to his new assignment and feels the Westminster Mall had great potential for success. I decided to look for more info on Bill Gartley since he just intrigued me. I did find that in 1979, he was the manager at the UA Cinemas in Riverside, which was considered the theater of the Inland Empire to go watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. So I thought that was interesting. It was amazing how there's this whole feed about this theater, and someone brings up that Bill was the manager. He was talked about in other feeds of theaters and stuff, but I really didn't find any more about him. But you know what? I hope he's doing swell, and he seemed to have touched a lot of people around the cinemas. I mean, he didn't physically touch. Also, while I was looking for info on the mall, the day before the mall opened, a bomb had went off at LA airport, killing 2 people. It's just a weird contrast how bombs were going off at the airport when this mall opened in the same area almost. So this ad campaign that the Westminster Mall was running, like before it opened and even way after it opened, was just kind of weird to me. For one thing, the Triangle W, it's just was really involved, and that thing just really weirds me out. I don't know why. Then you had these weird ads where it talked about everyone being friendly, but the drawings on the ads, everyone looked like those blue meanie creatures from Yellow Submarine. Then to talk about all like the shoe stores, the headline says, "Bring your feet to Westminster Mall." And it's just all around strange, but it's 74, so maybe this was the right way to do it. Everything had to be very strange. I don't know. It was a very weird campaign. On opening day, there was a store called Chic Accessories that you could get a free ear piercing if you bought earrings that were at least $8. So there was another place there on opening day selling their strange gifts and other useless things like black lights. This will be our featured store for this episode, which is Spencer Gifts. So going off their website's history, they are a shop that is marketing to 18 to 24-year-old guests who are high energy, technology savvy, edgy, demanding, independent, and always inspired by humor and irreverence. So it all started as a mail order catalog in 1947, which is one of the later companies we've done. A lot of the featured stores seem to have started in the 1800s, but this one started in the mid-20th century. In the catalog, they sold fun garbage that they sold, like they sell today, and it all started by Max Spencer Adler, and also there with him was his brother Harry. Harry decided to get out of it in 1960, and in 1963, the first Spencer gift was open in the mall in New Jersey. This is one of those names that bothers me, like JCPenney. So back then, it is Spencer Gifts, not Spencer's Gifts. Just Spencer Gifts. The name wasn't officially changed to just Spencer's until 2003. Doing some searching, I found some old catalogs for sale, and they're pretty rad. Like, I could see myself trying to collect them for many reasons. The artwork is pretty cool, and the things inside of it are, of course, ridiculous. Like, I found one in 1974, you could buy a banana harmonica for $1. They also had those drinking glasses where if you add liquid, the woman on the glass would lose her clothing. I mean, these were like the ridiculous things that I loved catalogs when I was a kid, and this would have been right up there. It's like a mix between a commercial and Mad Magazine. So it's like Mad Magazine, but you buy everything in it. So it's pretty awesome. They also had a phone that was shaped like a frog that was also a piggy bank. So it's like every 9-year-old's dream right there. It was as early as the 1970s that the style of the store you see today was introduced. Before the style changed, it kind of just looked like every department store front. But on their site, they described this change as newly redesigned, funky industrial spaces with an award-winning downtown club look. That description would just have me run away as fast as I could if I hadn't actually seen it. I don't know why, but the description just makes me think of like a store sounds so unclean and expensive. They had some legal issues through the years, and people are complaining that the products they sold were misleading, but it is what it is. So I don't understand how someone could buy something from there and think that it was some fantastic quality stuff. They also had some controversies with the products that they sold, such as Halloween masks, which, as I kept reading, I learned that Spencer's company also runs the Spirit Halloween stores that pop up during Halloween. But yeah, for me, I didn't go to Spencer's too much because we had international imports in my mall. Once I get to that mall, I would like to talk about that place in depth. But Spencer's is still going strong here in Canada and online. I think there will always be a need for garbage trinkets and horrible Christmas gifts, so I don't see Spencer's really going anywhere. So back to the mall. We got the opening out of the way. Let's see if there's anything else cool that's happened since 1974 when it opened. In 1977, Bert and Ernie and Grover from Sesame Street stopped by to say hey. In 1981, the Westminster Mall hosted a contest for kids to do some competitions, and if they won, they would win the new edition of the Guinness Book of World Records. Some of the things that they could compete in were throwing a paper airplane contest or a bubble popping contest. Seems like good, wholesome fun in 81 at the mall. For the holidays, in 1983, you could come see Santa and get some free milk and cookies, a coloring book, a goodie bag, and story time for the kids. In this ad for Christmas, which was 9 years later after opening day, they're still talking about their over 6,000 parking spots. The next year when Santa arrived, they dropped a ton of balloons. The balloon art was provided by Treb, who sounds like they would be a very cutting edge for the time in balloon art business. Another thing I found in 1983 was a gift computer set up on the lower level, courtesy of Radio Shack. It was set up to help people look for gifts when they didn't know what to buy for someone. You could type in the name, age, sex, and price range of who you were shopping for, and I'm guessing an extremely loud dot matrix printer would print out a list of things you might buy. In 1985, the jewelry store Zales did some color and culture from around the world. Things were set up, workshops like Thai gem cutting and Thai floral arrangements. So here's the most exciting thing I have found. In 1994, the Westminster Mall hosted the Baby Olympics. It was kind of set up like it was some huge event, but I don't really think it was. It said youngsters from 5 months to 2 years old will compete in the baby crawl, the baby walk, the baby walk, and the baby slam dunk competition. One of these things is not like the other. I don't get it. Okay, baby walk. Oh, okay, good. There's a baby walking. Oh, a baby crawling. How cute. Baby slam dunk competition. It's just like the contrast doesn't make sense. Um, and you'd win a gift certificate. In August of 1997, Good Burger played at the theater there. This is important to me because for some reason, my friend Zach and I went a couple times to see Good Burger at the mall cinema at our mall. It's just an important, weird mall memory to me. So, yeah, that was the Westminster Mall. It's still up and running today in a way, but I think it'll be interesting to come back in a year and see what mall survived the COVID. Since this was kind of a lackluster mall compared to others that we've talked about, I think we should end on its legacy of what made this mall so amazing in the first place. As of now, according to Parkopedia.com, the Westminster Mall has 6,530 parking spots to date. The parking is free for 2 hours, it says. I wonder if this is like a new restriction or it's always been 2 hours. I have spent longer than 2 hours at the mall, but I don't know if there's a meter cop driving around dealing with 6,530 spots. This might be something to do for me this might be something, probably not now, but to see if when this mall is in full force again, to go see if anyone is actually ticketing the 2 hour limit, like right on it, hardcore parking mall cop. So, thanks again for having me, and it's good to be back. If you would like to join me on Twitter, you can find me at History of Malls. You can also email me to chat at historyofmalls@gmail.com. I have a website with a donate button if you would like to help out. I don't get paid for this, but I enjoy doing the research, and a little soda here and there would be great while I do it. So thanks again. For tonight's song, we have another mall jam from Creepy Pizza called Sus. Thanks, and hope to hear from you soon.